I can't recall ever watching a finale on The Crown that was quite as suspenseful as the one in Season 6, Part 1. There are two parts to the Netflix series' final season. The first part centers on Princess Diana's passing and legacy. Part 1, set in 1997, chronicles Diana's last 8 weeks of life. Knowing the royal family well will let you realize that every event is regrettably building to a terrible loss. Nevertheless, The Crown succeeds in paying tribute to Diana's memory in a meaningful and eerie way. The royal family will undoubtedly change by the time we get to the mid-season finale. Let's examine the impactful last episode. Despite being discussed a lot, Diana's passing is handled respectfully. To be honest, you never see it. The Crown portrays a car that drives out of frame, instead of the automobile catastrophe that killed Diana and her lover Dodi Fate at the time. There's a huge boom. Then the picture just goes dark, and the focus moves to the family she leaves behind. Rather than focusing on the spectacle of it all, the decision pushes the royal family and you, the spectator, to consider Diana's legacy. Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth II find it difficult to comprehend the public's reaction to Diana's passing. People lament the deceased princess as if they knew her, all throughout the world. Following his return from identifying Diana's corpse, Prince Charles, Diana's ex-husband, demands that the royal family depart Scotland and head to London to grieve with their community. When the Queen rejects his offer, Charles argues that their insistence on solitude would ultimately be detrimental. Diana provided what the people required, he claims, even if it was only reassurance that extreme sorrow and anguish know no boundaries. It even affects those who are privileged and beautiful, and for that, they loved her. Later, as they painfully plot their next move, the Queen imagines the spirit of Diana. As though her passing was only a publicity stunt, she furiously charges her of starting a revolution. Diana responds, "It didn't have to be." However, it begins to appear as an enemy when someone makes an enemy not of me specifically, but of what I stand for. After giving the Queen a notion that changes her perspective, Diana walks away from the Queen. "You've taught us what it means to be British for as long as anyone can remember," Diana remarks. "Perhaps this is the appropriate moment to demonstrate that you're willing to learn as well." Queen Elizabeth informs her husband later in the episode that they will actually be visiting London. She confronts Diana's passing when they get there, breaking the stillness in the palace. Diana was not a member of the royal family when she passed away, therefore if the Queen had adhered to the royal code of conduct, she might have kept quiet. Rather, she decides to speak to the public during Diana's burial. In the speech, Queen Elizabeth finally lets her guard down in public, which is a turning point in The Crown. Diana's vulnerability is what made her popular with the people, as Charles previously stated. In her absence, the royal family is left to forge their own route and establish a connection with their society. The Queen begs that the nation use Diana's legacy as a beacon of hope as she concludes her address. She states, "I think there are lessons to be learned from her life, and from the remarkable and moving reaction to her death. I too am determined to treasure her memory." The episode concludes with Prince William and Prince Harry entering the royal family's new era by marching behind their mother's coffin.